What's going on, YouTubers? It's the natural born to National Wrestling Alliance review shown December 2019. This will be the final on these power. Basically, they was going to do it on the on New Year's Eve, but they decided to just do it on 30th, the day before New Year's Eve. So here we are. Oh yeah, your commentators are Joe Galley and Stu Bennett, your ring announcer and your interviewer, David Marquez, and again, your NWA Powerrr results. And let's get right into it. Basically, the final NWA show of 2019, because we're moving forward to a new year of, and also a new decade of 2020. So we opened the show with obviously Joe Galley and Stu Bennett welcome us to NWA Powerrr that you go watch on YouTube or on Facebook. And what way does the kick off NWA Powerrr with Dave Marquez. David Marquez, which I want to say, as he interviews Tim Storm. And Tim Storm basically represents to him being interviewed, represents to wanting to kick the ass of Nick Aldis. And all of a sudden, the NWA World's Champion, Nick Aldis, comes out with Camille. And it was intense. I'll say that, especially with Camille in the middle of it, where she's basically in the way of Tim Storm, where Tim Storm's trying he was trying to get to Nick Aldis, but he was just standing there. But you could tell there was some tensions there between Nick Aldis and Tim Storm of their rivalries and their past and everything that happened out on these latest and their Powers episodes. But basically, it's about them facing each other in this tournament of the TV championship title tournament that they're doing, and we'll see them later on. So we thought, representing them in the match, but I'll get to more of that later. The event of NWA Hard Times, the next review that's gonna be this month coming, is completely sold out. Good for them. Just basically a reminder. We see clips of Aaron Stevens, or should I say Shooter Stevens, as him being the NWA third degree national champion, or I think it was on the NWA national third degree champion. It was one of those two. Either way, but so we get to a match between Shooter Stevens in an exhibition match against some guy named Sal Renostro. I've seen before. He was part of that three-way match with C.W. Anderson and Ziggy Dice, and here he is again. Now, the match itself, it was a submission match because Shooter Stevens, he's a third degree belt, a third degree black belt in karate. There was no question mark, unfortunately, on the show, which is kind of disappointing because the question mark is over in NWA Powerrr. But also, Aaron Stevens is look like he's doing kung fu and everything. He's got his own kung fu robe and all that. And he's all out in full karate gear. And he beats what's his name again? He beats Sal Renostro by submission because it was a submission match. I apologize for the silence. I was waiting for the silence to stop. So here we go. Back to this. So Aaron Stevens had or Shooter Stevens, should I say, had some kind of Cobra clutch submission move on. I think it was. I'm trying to remember how it was done. Yes, it was a Cobra clutch, but Stu Bennett said something else. It was something different. And as he won with that move, Shiro Stevens, he would not let go. All of a sudden, Jordan Murdoch comes in, and Ernest Stevens finally lets go. He goes to be interview, said that he's trying to show the roster why he is a dangerous man in NWA, with him, being a third degree black belt in karate. So Jordan Murdoch got sick and tired of it. He got sick and tired of Shooter Stevens. He got sick and tired. He got sick and tired. He's getting sick and tired of him treating these young guys like a Sal Renostro, how to say his name. And he's sick of Shooter Stevens getting involved of Trevor Murdoch's business back into the fire, and he wants a piece of him. So Eric Stevens says know no desire of defending the championship, and then Murdoch's like he doesn't care for the championship right now. He cares about kicking his ass. So we get to this next match, which is obviously Shooter Stevens pulling double duty on that night. So it was Trevor Murdoch versus Shooter Stevens in a exhibition match again, national third degree champion. So the match happens is obviously a exhibition match, and Trevor Murdoch wins with the Indian Stevens. So I guess you could say that, and he could be next in line for an NWA National Championship title shot against Shooter Stevens, should I say, somewhere down the line. I'm pretty sure it's gonna happen at hard times. So, and the reason why I say that because the question mark is part of this tournament. I thought he's gonna last to the very end, getting far to the finals, but but you never know. But anyways, but yeah, that's basically it. The Pope interviews Eddie Kingston and Homicide. Something that's supposed to be coming up, very soon. More to come. Or represents to NWA Powerrr. Represents to NWA Powerrr. No, NWA Powerrr Surge. I think that's what on the show's gonna be. The segment show is gonna be called NWA Powerrr Surge. That's gonna be the Pope's show where we see him interviewing wrestlers. So he interviews Eddie Kingston and Homicide, basically put him over, and in a way, it was a friendly interview. So we see we get to Eli Drake, and we get to this promo that he did I think it was last week. Yeah, it was last week, where he was drunk. He had a little bit of the bubbly, or should I say, uh, too much of it of the bubbly, you know. Um, and, I think I remember talking about this last week, but when in his interview, was they did a recap of this one because I forgot to bring it up from last week because I forgot how he said it. He said, basically with him, what pertains to him being championship material. He's he was in the spirit, in the Christmas spirit at the time because it was a Christmas episode. He said, you know, the shoes that he wears, champion of the shoes. I mean shoes of a champion. That's what I meant to say. Shoes of a champion. And then he said, in the jacket that he wears, the custom-made jacket that's, an electric custom-made jacket, that's his. He said, this jacket right here is the shoes of a champion. He literally said that. And then he realized what he said there in a matter of seconds. He's like, wait, did I say the shoes of champions? And I'm like, yes, you did. I think you meant to say the jacket of a champion. I'm assuming that's what he meant to say. But he was too drunk, That's nothing too. That's nothing I want to bring myself to remind myself here. I thought Eli Drake wasn't a drinker, if I recall. If I recall, he doesn't drink. But I guess it's one of those special occasions that he does drink. In one of those special occasions. I mean, like one of those holidays. So, but if I recall, I simply recall Eli Drake not drinking. He doesn't drink at all. He's like Triple H, where Triple H doesn't drink that much either. He's not. He's basically Triple H is not a drinker. Eli Drake is the same thing. He's not a drinker. Unless they just drink just one beer, and that's it. That's all there is to it. And also pertains to special occasions. They'll probably drink a little bit of the bubbly or whatever. But other than that, Eli Drake doesn't drink at all. So that's one thing that I didn't get to think about when I did that review last week. But Eli Drake talks about that interview that he did, and then to all this where it pertains to um 2 weeks now he hasn't had a match. Eli Drake 2 weeks now so far he hasn't had a match, and this is the second week by the way that he didn't get a match, and he's understanding. He understands why, because Nick Aldis is pulling some strings because he's NWA World Champion and everything, and basically Nick Aldis is trying to avoid Eli Drake. And basically Eli Drake is having some theories that's what Nick Aldis is doing. So and then leads to a point where Eli Drake wants to have a partner, it pertains to teaming up with someone, to go into the tag team titles, because he wants to kick Ricky Morton's ass. He mentioned that too, by the way. He's looking to kick Ricky Morton's ass, but I see myself, wait a minute, it's more than just Ricky Morton, and it's also Robert Gibson too. You can't forget about him. And like I get Robert Gibson talk that much, Ricky Morton does. The most impressed performer of the Rock and Roll Express, but at the same time, you can't forget about Robert Gibson too. But basically, he want to look for partners of his own. He did name drop guys like Tim Storm. He talked about Ken Anderson, and then he's like talking a little trash about Ken Anderson, saying that he's a loser and everything. Also, and Coco Cabana comes out and says, stop running down on Mr. Anderson. You may think he's a bad guy and all that, but he's not. He's a good guy, and the reason why Eli Drake feels that way because what Mr. Anderson did to him back at Into the Fire. But the reason why I did that because Coco Cabana basically said that you did the same to him. So basically he was looking for an eye for an eye. That's basically what it was. So Eli Drake continues to keep trash talking on Mr. Anderson. Because you're asking Coco Cabana, do you want to be my partner then? And then Coco Cabana basically denies him, and basically said he just came out and just let you know to stop bad mouthing on Mr. Anderson. But Electric did not listen, so Mr. Anderson came out. Also, he gets a pull apart. There was no fight that happened. But it was going to be if we didn't have any officials out there. But at the same time, you also have Coco Cabana there trying to back up Mr. Anderson. So, by the way, Joe Galli was during this whole segment. So that was it. That was good. So I guess it's going to continue on. I'm assuming it's going to be it's going to lead to a feud, a tag team feud, to say the least. But we'll see. Then we get to a promo of NWA Powerrr, or pertains to NWA Girl Power. So they show Thunder Rosa, Molina, and Marty Bell with their own segments talking about Allison Kay, who's the NWA Women's World Champion. It talks about how basically Marty Bell talks about how the friendship between her and Kay, Allison Kay is not real and everything for the last 10 years and everything. And then we saw one with ODB, Tasha Steelz, Allison Kay to say, and Ashley Box. And it was a different time, time frame of it, where Allison Kay, talks about she could be she could be obnoxious, but that's who she is. Since her telling the truth about that which is her of her friends and everything, and yeah, that's basically it. But yeah, it's gonna be more of these segments, and it says coming soon. But it's gonna be more of these segments coming soon, where it pertains to NWA Girl Power, and that's basically it. We get to Tasha Steelz versus Marty Bell. Marty Bell is being accompanied by Molina. Match itself, it was alright. But Tasha Steelz won the match though. Even though the move that didn't really connect, you know, Maria Bell to where and knocked her out. But it's whatever. In the end, Melina was so furious at Maria Bell losing, screaming at her and everything. And I don't know. I don't know. It's gonna lead to Mario Bill, leaving the group, whatever. But I don't know. It's a weird dynamic on what they're doing here, and that's nothing too. They just paired them up together not too long ago, and by looks of it, it's gonna be over before it gets picked up somewhere, in 2020. So I don't know. I don't know what they're doing with that, but we get to someone named, I forgot the guy's name already, but he's done backstage interviews for NWA Powerrr. But also someone named Anastasia Fletcher. I think that's her name, and I think she's a wrestler because referring to the NWA Girl Power, the pictures that they show on the show. I could swear that was her in one of those pictures that was taken with all the women that are on the roster on that roster. But she was there. She didn't say much anyways. She just picked out names of what's going to be the next tournament for next week, and it's going to be Ziggy Dice versus Caleb Conley. Can't wait for that, folks. Cannot wait for that. Now we get to the main event. Tim Storm getting a huge ovation as he get ready to face Nick Aldis, because what pertains to Tim Storm, like the promo that he did last week, what pertains to him, doing a little reference of Dusty Rose promo of Hard Times. Tim Storm, he's got something left to prove. And what's that something left to prove for Tim Storm? That something left to prove is to get a win and to beat Nick Aldis, the NWA World's Champion. That's something that Tim Storm has something left to prove. So we get Nick Aldis coming out. He also got the rest of of his faction, in the wild cards of Thomas Latimer and Royce Isaacs. I meant to say. I was going to say Royce. Isaiah. I think I was going to say Isaiah. I think I was, but it's Royce Isaac. Royce Isaac and Tim Latimer. You also have May Valentine, and you also have Camille. And I noticed Nick Aldis is wearing dress clothes. Basically, all you saw was his track jacket on, but from below, he's wearing slacks, wearing shoes. I asked myself, what's this all about? So he gets to the to the interview, with Dave Marquez, and they basically they had a track jacket, like, and they got a faction name called. In fact, let me see if it says here. I try to remember from the top of my head. All right, let me see. Oh yeah, Strictly Business. That's the new faction name for Nick Aldis, Camille, Thomas Latimer, Royce Isaac, got right that time, and May Valentine. So yeah, all of them are called Strictly Business, a new faction name for NWA Powerrr. And Nick Aldis says, and this is what I don't get. So Nick Aldis is supposed to be in this tournament, or this TV tournament, right? Because he gives reason why he's in this TV tournament, because he's beating everybody and everything, and he wants to compete in this tournament so that he could see if they're any good enough to beat him in this tournament. What pertains to to be a future NWA World Champion in the future, So here's what he said. After all this, and then what pertains to being getting ready to have a match against Tim Storm. And apparently Tim Storm is to blame for all this, for Nick Aldis not competing in here. So here's what happened. He says that he entered into the TV tournament for fun, but Tim Storm has taken all of the fun out of it. The crowd started trying cower after that. He calls. I already talked about the faction name. He says and then this is one other thing that I understand either. He said he didn't want to take the risk of being injured in a tournament that isn't even important for him, for a real world champion anyways. Then why did you get, what was the point of him being in the tournament in the first place? This should have been Eli Drake's spot. Why couldn't this be Eli Drake's spot to be in this tournament? Or James Storm? Or who else yeah that's not been named in there to be in this tournament? Why it had to be Nick Aldis? He's already a world champion in NWA. He's got the main title. That's the most important title, the most important world championship title in pro wrestling right now, next to the IWGP Heavyweight Championship. But I don't get it. That right there, it just irritated me. Like what was the point of you even entering the tournament in the first place? Like I was thinking about that. Was this part of the plan of NWA to do this? So then also, Tim Storm tried to get to him, and he couldn't get to him. Then Nick Aldis decided to Taze get in the ring, even though he's not even prepared to wrestle, and he gets out of there. He didn't get into the ring. He just got on the apron and he got off. And he says, you know what? I got someone to take his place, and it was of all people, Royce Isaac. And Royce Isaac looked shocked and everything. What? I'm not warmed up and everything. And I was saying to myself, well, this ain't gonna last. This ain't gonna be good if he's in it. So I thought. So there's Royce Isaac versus Tim Storm, TV tournament qualifying. 605 is the time limit. So the match happens. Royce Isaac, he finally showed me something here. Like, yeah, he can go in the ring as a one-on-one competitor. He showed me a little more, but I still need to see a lot more. He showed me a little bit more of what he can do in the ring, but I need to see a lot more in there, because Tim Storm this was basically Tim Storm's match. Not saying it was a complete squash, because Royce Isaac got some good moves in there too, especially when it pertains to that one distraction only from his partner Thomas Latimer to Tim Storm, where Royce Isaac took the advantage of it. But in the end, Tim Storm hits the perfect storm, which is the spinning sidewalk slam, which where Wade Barrett has done it. Stu Bennett, who was Wade Barrett back in WWE, when it was called the Winds of Change. So that's how Tim Storm won, and he ends up advancing. And all of a sudden, Nick Aldis looks upset. All of a sudden, Rock and Roll Express shows up from behind him. And Nick Aldis didn't know they're behind him until finally he did. And then Ricky Morton said to Nick Aldis, says, "Don't never turn your back on your opponent," or something like that. And then he says, rock and roll," and the show ends right there. And there you go. That was the show. Talking about wrestling, with 4 matches. And my overall strength for the show for NWA Powerrr from December 30th, 2019, I'm going to give it, excuse me, I'm going to give it a 6.5 out of 10. I enjoyed the show. It was a good average show. So there you go. And that being said, folks, thank you all for watching for It's Natural Born Thriller, saying peace on the streets. For this was your National Wrestling Alliance review, where we're just giving you NWA Powerrr results from December 30th, 2019. And that was it for 2019's NWA Powerrr until we get to 2020, which is going to be next week. So until next time, we'll change to this National Alliance Wrestling National Wrestling Alliance review. I'll see you all next week. You all take care, and I'm out.